If you have ever bought a mattress, you know how it is, to put it mildly, not the easiest task. The choice is huge, it is not cheap, and how to choose the one that will fit you exactly. 5 people noticed it too, and decided to radically change the sleep industry, and at the same time to make money on it. To do so, they invented an innovative business model and wanted to become like Nike, but in the world of sleep. Further, in 2019, this 5-year-old company was valued at $1.1 billion. However, as early as 2022, it went to a new owner, but with a valuation of $300 million. Casper was founded in 2014 by 5 friends. They had a pretty good lineup, I'd say. They all had the necessary skills. Philip sold sleep products. Neil's father worked as a somnologist, so he knew something about it and had access to experts. Jeff designed mattresses. Gabriel had experience in e-com, and Luke worked in media and branding. They analyzed the market and came to the conclusion that things are somehow not working well or correctly right now. No one really needs a variety of mattresses because it only complicates the buying process. And having lain in the store on several mattresses for a couple of minutes, a person will not understand exactly whether it suits him or not. In short, everything is wrong. Let's change. The mattress market is an extortion. The buyer expects that the choice will be difficult, but he does not think to see more than 30 models in the hall, which in fact differ only in the label. It is easier to buy a used car. At least there are parameters like horsepower and air conditioning. And mattresses? Who knows how many springs a person needs? Neil Perick, co-founder. In order to make it easier to enter the market, they decided to make only one model of mattress, set a reasonable price, offer free shipping and a 100-day return guarantee if the customer is not satisfied. They started with their own money and some credit money. It's probably reckless to use a $100,000 loan for a rudimentary business, but we believed in it, Perick said. In parallel, as a startup should, they began looking for investors. Initially, their idea was received rather coldly, with objections such as, "You have made only one model, what nonsense? Where are the innovations? And in general, who will buy a mattress without lying on it?" But eventually funding was found in January 2014. The Lehrer Hippo Ventures Fund brought Casper $185 million before the official launch. Ben himself, who is a director of this fund by the way, authored a dissertation on how the mattress industry needs to change. A little later, on April 22, 2014, they launched a website and put 40 mattress units there, expecting to sell at least a couple of units in the first week. On the occasion of their opening, they decided to get the press involved. So, they got a lot of publications in the media and, accordingly, the first customers. As a result, they sold everything on the first day and started taking pre-orders. The same happened with their financial goal for the first year. They planned to make a turnover of about $180 million, but they overdid it a bit and closed it in 2 months. The metrics were not only staggering but scary, says Krim. We should elaborate on their positioning. The most basic one is that they were pitting themselves against the established market and planned to work only online directly with customers. At first glance, there are only pluses. There are no intermediaries, which seems to be good for both the client and the manufacturer, communication with the audience one-on-one, and there are minimal costs. And they focused mainly on young people who were familiar with the internet. As I mentioned, they offered only one mattress in 6 different sizes. They also improved both the design and the composition of the mattress. They even patented it, while other players in the market, according to the founders, were just sticking stickers. They developed, or rather popularized, a way of packing mattresses so that they fit into a small box that could be easily transported on a bicycle and placed in a doorway. Each mattress came with instructions, a knife to remove the packaging, a thank you note, and a book. They gave 100 days to test and return the goods in case of any problems. And the returns, they said, went either to the scrap or to charity, not to repackaging and to the second round. A mattress is a serious investment, and we don't want a customer to regret spending the money. Yes, sometimes products are returned, but because of company policy, they recommend us to friends. Jeff Chapin, co-founder. In advertising, they absolutely countered with screaming banners with an abundance of colors, fonts, discounts, and more. And of course, Casper wanted to make friends with its customers. We don't just need a customer, we need a brand advocate, believed Perick. With a fairly brisk start in August of 2014, the company raised another $13.1 million from investors. Sales by January 2015 totaled $20 million. Next, in March 15, Kylie Jenner posted photos of her new mattress on Instagram. The post garnered nearly 900,000 likes and practically put Casper's website down. That same year, the same fund invested another $55 million and attracted various media personalities to the project. Rappers Nas and 50 Cent, actors Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher and Tobey Maguire, and musicians and producers Adam Levine and Scooter Braun. In the end, all of this has already yielded $100 million in turnover in 2015. Casper perfectly understood that mattresses alone would clearly not be enough for a revolution. So from the start, they looked at the entire sleep industry, which was valued at $432 billion worldwide and $80 billion in the United States. Unfortunately, a person has to spend a third of his already short life on all this, especially now when the demand for healthy lifestyle, awareness, personal growth, and productivity is growing. So they started thinking about expanding their product range. Over time, pillows, blankets, sheets, dog beds, and smart bedside lamps appeared. Sleep is what Casper is about, said Mr. Sherwin. With all this, they were trying to appeal to people who couldn't spend $400 to $500 bucks on a mattress. 2016 sales doubled to approximately $200 million. Then they began to expand their geography and went first to Canada and then to Europe. After realizing the limitations of the online business model, they began to open offline outlets as well. Stores remain the centerpiece because the product needs to be tested. Even if a customer doesn't walk away with a mattress, they can order it online later. The opposite is also true. 75 to 85% of shoppers make a purchase in a store after searching online, said Brooke Figlow, head of public relations for Tuft & Needle. So in 2016, opened a showroom in New York City and partnered with a local retailer that had 70 locations across the states. However, the partnership didn't go very far and ended in October 2017. In 2018, they opened their first offline store all in the same New York City. And by September 19th, Casper had opened 60 of its already retail stores and 18 locations in partnership with the retailer. At the same time, they planned to open another 200 stores, but did not do it. In addition, in the year 20, decided to completely suspend their activities in Europe altogether. Since the company is focused on achieving profitability and plan to concentrate on the North American business. This will save the company over $10 million a year. As mentioned earlier, the company planned to make friends with its audience and differentiate itself from its competitors by doing so. To do this, it experimented with marketing. For example, it hired experienced somnologists in its operating outlets to train salespeople so that they in turn would better counsel customers rather than just talking from a script. In honor of National Memorial Day, US invited 75 people to take a boat ride, while other brands limited themselves to discounts. "We don't care if a person buys the product or not," Krim said. "He might take a boat ride and get the attention of friends who didn't know about the firm." Released a chatbot for those who can't sleep. You could only chat with it from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. Launched a hotline where you could hear, for example, the sound of the ocean or the wind. Created a website and added different party videos to it. The idea was that a person could lie about not being at home while staying in bed. The site supposedly showed where to hold the phone and how to record the video to make it look real. Put a 4-bed trailer across the states where you could test their mattresses. They opened the Dreamery Sleep Room, which is the kind of quiet space where you can buy a 45-minute nap in a capsule. Similar capsules were made inside regular stores, by the way. They launched Van Winkle's, a magazine dedicated to the topic of sleep. They also changed their approach to social media marketing. Instead of new mattress owners, they started posting videos and audio with meditations and stories. "Social media is anxiety-inducing, and we want to be an island of calm," said its chief marketing officer, Jeff Brooks. In addition to past investments, the company raised another $170 million in June 2017, and in early 2019, another $100 million, and revenue in 2018 exceeded $400 million, and valuation reached $1.1 billion by 2019. Around that time, the company came to the attention of retailer Target and offered to buy it for $1 billion. Casper turned them down at the time, and as it would later become clear, for nothing. Target invested $75 million and began selling their products in their stores. Then, in the year 2000, planning to attract new investors and gain a foothold in the market, the company went public, but with a valuation of $476 million instead of $1 billion, and in 2022, it was transferred to a new owner for only $300 million. All because, in 8 years of operation, Casper, like many Silicon Valley startups, never turned a profit.
What? Revenue? No revenue. I'll call you back.
What?
Why would you go after revenue?
Because to make money?
No.
"Our stock is up 80%, and we're a $4 billion company," he said. "We don't spend money on PR to create hype and raise more money to fund unprofitable operations," said Scott Thompson, chief executive of Tempur Sealy, the largest competitor. In his view, Casper's main innovation is its willingness to lose tons of money over several years and in hopes of finding a fool to buy it. By comparison, Casper's 2018 revenue is $400 million, his company's revenue is $270 billion. This is to the point that on one hand, he certainly knows what he's talking about, but on the other hand, they themselves ended up taking and copying Casper's product. Tempur Sealy now offers Cocoon, a bed-in-a-box that, like Casper, comes with a 100-night trial period. Direct-to-consumer sales now account for about 10% of the company's sales. Now for more details about the problems the company faced. About 150 other new similar brands entered the market at that moment, so Casper started to rely on marketing. They spent $423 million on it from 2016 to 2018, and $114 million in 2019. The losses in 2018 and 2019 were $92 million and $70 million respectively. Their main problems were two: the high cost of customer acquisition, which according to some reports was as high as 15% of the product price, and low frequency of repeat purchases. That is, once a person buys a mattress, at best he or she will come back for a second one in 7 to 10 years. There were attempts to correct this by expanding the assortment, but it didn't work. In general, Casper itself admits that it is unlikely to achieve payback in the near future. Apart from this, there were other points. For example, the high percentage of returned goods, which means additional costs for logistics and disposal. Also, one of the founders was overly active in fighting negative reviews, and this was not very good for the reputation of the brand. It turned out that mattress production is not something unique and inimitable, and the customer by and large does not care where to get a mattress. The main thing is that the price was adequate and it was comfortable. Initially, they focused only on a young and therefore not very solvent audience. According to analyst Mark Piccitti, the sleep industry is a prime example of how modern investors like to invest in businesses that promise to grow at any cost and end up getting nothing, only to realize later that they didn't invest in a business, but in someone else's dream. Eventually, in 2022, Casper was sold to private equity fund Durational Capital Management for about $300 million. Casper has made a number of management changes over the past few years. The CEO has changed. Due to a job transition, co-founder Philip stepped down as CEO. His place was taken by Casper's commercial director, Emily Errol. "We're not in the business of not making money anymore," Errol said. "VC money is not falling from the ceiling anymore. We need to be very specific on what we're working on." So far, they have sold off their stores in Canada and opened new ones, expanded their potential target audience, changed the way they sell product, and focused on profitability. And recently, in January 2024, they changed the CEO once again. The position was taken by a person with experience in this position at a competing brand, Joe Megabo. To them, he helped grow market share, opened retail stores, developed e-com, and the wholesale division. No other mattress brand has cultivated the level of customer trust and love that Casper has, and it's our time to leverage this unique position, Megabo said. With recent investment from strategic partnerships, Casper is well capitalized and poised for significant growth.